What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. Time's come once again for another episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship today. Mr. KJS. 5 months ago, man, my request line is so long. You guys have been amazing, making me feel all popular and stuff. Requests the Demon Lord Socothbenoth. So, of course, we're cracking open our copy of Book of the Damned and we're bringing it to you live. Well, not live, we didn't stream this, you know what I mean. Right here. If you guys like what you're seeing, hit that like and subscribe button. If you've got a request, it goes in the comments. And remember, guys, patronage at any tier lets you cut to the front of, honestly, a very long line. But today, this episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship was brought to you in part by R.S. Bruce. Thanks so much for your support, man. Miss you at Doomsday Dawn. Get your act together so you can come play some monsters with us. Now, let's dive in. Okay, so Socothbenoth doesn't really have a one-to-one, at least that I'm aware of. In the real world, I think Socothbenoth more represents the more heinous sides of the sin of lust. Honestly, we're 2 for 3 so far in this week's Pathfinder 1st Edition videos talking about creepy sexual things. Socothbenoth is definitely one of them. To be honest with you, I believe it might be something along the lines of what Christians from 500 years ago believed when they thought of premarital sex and all the bad things that would come with it. But on Golarion, Socothbenoth is the embodiment of the unpleasant methods by which seduction and lust are satiated. He is paragon to deviants and lecherous maniacs of all types, viewing all creation as his personal arena of pleasure, right alongside Nauticula, his sister and lover. Kids these days and their incest. Literally, that's been all week. Can't get away from it. Go watch this video about ogres. You'll see what I mean. But Socothbenoth is fond of changing his form. His tastes, and those of the faithful, tend to run the violent and destructive ends. Socothbenoth's true form is that of a lithe, handsome man with black eyes, long black hair, and pointed ears, and numerous metal and bone body piercings. Of all the demon lords, Socothbenoth is the least demonic in appearance, and he can pass as an incredibly attractive half-elf or elf in most societies without resorting to his mastery of shape change. Oftentimes, he's seen in the company of albino serpents, and it's said that they follow the commands he whispers without fail. It's said the man is a Slytherin. Wonderful. Thanks for being creepy, Voldemort. Socothbenoth prefers to handle confrontations without resorting to fights, and his mastery over the mortal mind and skill at manipulating emotion and desire mean that usually he can do just that. When forced to fight, though, Socothbenoth does not relent and is a dangerous foe, taking full advantage of his ability to alter his form to grow monster parts to kill you with. Until very recently, he utilized a powerful magical quarterstaff in combat known as Rapture, a weapon that had the ability to flesh warp living targets, transforming those struck into deformed monstrosities or alluring paragons, according to the will of Socothbenoth. But his sister broke it in a recent confrontation. Socothbenoth has already recovered several of the fragments of the once powerful weapon that were scattered throughout the Abyss as a result of its sundering, but until he regains all the shards, he cannot hope to reforge it anew. Rumors exist that Socothbenoth has been making secret overtures to Hell, particularly to Belial, about forming an alliance to extract a grisly revenge against Nauticula. So, this is why you don't sleep with your siblings, guys. Just right here. Don't do it. PSA. Incest is bad. Thank you so much. Anywho, it's unclear if this means that Socothbenoth is seeking to become an infernal duke, but what is very clear is that those who Socothbenoth discovers have been spreading these rumors are brutally savaged and destroyed. Socothbenoth is highly social. He maintains more contact with other demon lords than any other of his kind. We're talking Endrifku, Baphomet, Pazuzu. Hey, we talked about Pazuzu a super long time ago. I'll follow this card right up here. We'll tell you all about it. All of these demon lords have, at some point in time, served Socothbenoth as a lover. Now, that has a very funny connotation when we talk about Pazuzu. Go listen to that video, as this video gets progressively creepier and creepier. Anyway, gonna push through. His affinity to serpents, you know why if you watch the Pazuzu video, barfs internally.
Nice.
Has seen him work with Abraxas, follow this card right here, and we'll stop talking about creepy things. Here's Abraxas. And his interest in sadism has encouraged numerous visits with shacks to trade techniques. Socothbenoth's Abyssal Palace is known as the Cathedral Thelemic, which is a city-sized structure containing thousands of rooms dedicated to numerous vices. Despite the deceptively peaceful sylvan wilderness that surrounds it, one doesn't need to look far beneath the veil to see all the terrible things that run rampant here. Now, as one might imagine, Socothbenoth is chaotic evil with the domains Chaos, Charm, Evil, and Travel, the subdomains Demon, Exploration, Love, and Lust. His favorite weapon is the quarterstaff, his unholy symbol an eyeless snake coiled around a bejeweled staff. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it right here, right now. Socothbenoth's Deific obedience is capital N, capital S, capital F, capital W, not safe for work. My quest for YouTube monetization falls short directly here as I read this, but I don't want to bring this gross stuff to your ears, so real quick, ladies and gentlemen, from the Inn of Planar Crossroads, Mr. Kane's Mail.
Socothbenoth, eh? Alright. Socothbenoth. Oh! Alright. To perform Socothbenoth's obedience, one must achieve sexual release, either alone or with a partner, and then defile a page torn from the religious canon of a lawful good deity. Completion of this obedience gains you a +4 bonus on saving throws against enchantment effects. I recommend you not try this one at home, but hey, I'm not your pastor.
Anyway, now that we're done with that disgustingness, Evangelist Boons grant us Command thrice a day, Unnatural Lust twice a day, or Reckless Infatuation once a day. At 16th level, when you create magical effects that manipulate the thoughts and minds of others, you invest your own debased passions and influence into that magic so that it forces creatures to violate even their most deeply felt taboos. Mind-affecting spells you cast that would normally grant an additional save or a bonus for opposing the target's nature don't grant those bonuses as long as the intended course of action is lurid or perverse, such as causing a druid to lust after her animal companion or a brother and sister to lust after one another. This is just the creepiest thing. Okay, here we go. Man, I have to make a homebrew Antipaladin code for this. The things I do for my subscribers. Anyway, also, 3 times per day. Quick and unnatural lust, that's fun. At 20th level, your deeply felt prayers and obsessive devotion to the secrets Socothbenoth whispers to you when you sleep have granted you the ability to reshape matter and grant life where life shouldn't probably exist. 3 times per day, you can cast Polymorph any object as a spell-like ability. Unlike with the spell, you are not limited to existing forms. You could turn the target into a 3-headed nymph or a centaur-like creature made only of human body parts. Although, this doesn't apply to inanimate forms, like turning a human into a sculpture of soft clay or vice versa. You can also perform partial transformations, such as granting additional body parts, changing a creature's limbs into something else, or transforming only a creature's tongue into a tentacle. I've seen enough hentai to know where Socothbenoth's going. If the resulting form would be lethal, the target gains a +4 bonus on the save. Unlike for normal polymorph any object spells, changes you make can be undone only by wish or miracle. Now, creepiness aside, that's playable, and probably the most perverse fatality capstone I've ever seen in my life. Anywho, Exalted Boons. Charm Person thrice a day, Eagle Splendor twice a day, Beast Shape 1 once a day. At 16th level, you have honed your voice into a weapon, and can speak in a smooth and seductive tone that slips into the minds of those who listen like the lightest brush of a lover's breath. As a result, your mind-affecting effects become harder to resist. Increase the save DCs of such effects you create by 1, or by 2 when used against an intelligent creature that is or could be sexually attracted to you. Oh good, I didn't know that the Fey Kitsune sorcerers we were all building also worshipped Socothbenoth for another buff to their stuff. Lovely. Anywho, 20th level. The rapture of physical pleasure grows old when you throw taboo to the wind, and so you've honed your faith to emulate your sinful patron's fluidity of the flesh, which lets you cast Shape Change once per day as a spell-like ability. Sentinel Boons, it's Delusional Pride thrice a day, Mirror Image twice a day, Heroism once a day. At 16th level, causing harm to others fills you with euphoric pleasure that allows you to endure the harshest blows, up to 3 times a day. As you deal hit point damage to a creature, the rush of pleasure grants you temporary hit points equal to twice your charisma modifier. Okay, Scaled Fist OP, seems good. These temporary hit points stack with multiple uses of this ability, but not with temporary hit points from other sources, and last for a minute or until depleted as long as you're fully healed and have at least one of these temporary hit points. You get a +4 morale bonus on attack rolls and will saves. Oh man, that's really good. Oh, I don't want to play that, but it's good. Oh, this is why we flavor things to be other things. So anyway, 20th level. Your form has achieved the utmost perfection, granting you a measure of protection and filling you with a surge of prideful wrath whenever your beauty would be sullied by others' assaults. Your physical appearance becomes darkly beautiful and sexually appealing, giving you a +2 profane bonus to your charisma score as long as you do not have an armor bonus to your armor class. So I guess the scaled fist is throwing out his bracers of armor, because he'll get a profane bonus to his AC and to his fort saves equal to his charisma modifier. So you weren't a scaled fist because you already had that and you can't add it twice, profane bonus or untyped bonus or otherwise. But you could also be an Antipaladin. Okay, I've talked myself out of how good that is. Here we go. Whew. Whenever a creature deals damage to you with an attack, you gain a profane bonus equal to your charisma modifier on your next weapon attack roll against that creature. Never mind, that's really good. The Sentinel boons for Socothbenoth are just straight up playable. All of those are sweet, and not as creepy as they could be. Sure, thanks for that, Paizo. And of course, this creepy boy is chaotic evil, which means Creepy Boy's got his own Creepy Boy Antipaladin code, homebrewed by yours truly. I apologize to all the children that may hear this, but it goes as such. Life is about pleasure, and I will revel in pleasure in all its forms. No taboo is so heinous as to hold me back. I will find allies anywhere I can, use them for however long I can, and discard them when I am done with them. Friendship is not hard to come by when you have friends like mine. Those who oppose my will be utterly destroyed physically and mentally. I will reduce my enemies to hideous shells of their former selves. Above all else, I will ensure I remain beautiful. Even as I am covered in blood, my figure will glisten with beauty and, okay, planar adventures, boon. Let's give Rule Minds, as per a 20th level Mesmerist, used as a free action once. Save DC is 10, plus half your hit dice, plus your charisma, but the save DC is not reduced by 5 if the monster isn't a humanoid. So of course if it fails, it's a permanent thrall as dominate monster until you die. So that's fun. And now the task falls to me to tell you how I would use this for a PC and how you can use it in your games without, everybody looking at you funny when they realize what it is you're about. This is like Calistria gone bad. And with a sylvan homeland and a very elven appearance, one can't help but think that might have been a little on the intentional side. When one plays an evil character in a party of non-evil characters, one of course must do their utmost to keep all that gross stuff away from the rest of the party, lest the paladins smite them to death over it. With Socothbenoth, it's gotta be the same thing. Honestly, if I ever had a worshipper of Socothbenoth at my tables, what we're doing is everything your character does during downtime to worship, we'll say, is veiled. Fade to black. It happens, yeah, sure, great, have fun. I won't take it from you, but we won't go into gory detail about it, and the party, for some Socothbenothian reason, will never have any idea. And I think that's probably how I'd run it as a player too, and frankly, adding my charisma to a bunch of places through the Sentinel path, that's certainly playable. So I could definitely see myself worshipping this guy as much as I like heavy charisma builds. Again, and I'll say it loud and clear for everybody, fade to black is how this one works. Also, chaotic evil does not mean chaotic stupid, as the saying goes, so there definitely comes a time in the point of any quest or what have you that one has to put that aside for the greater good of things, as most evil characters have to practice in not killing everyone in the tavern or executing all the people who don't follow the law. So too must the Socothbenites sometimes keep it in their pants when it's not appropriate to do so, because ultimately we want the campaign to function, right? It can't function if that's how you're doing it. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Have we worshipped Socothbenoth? At least one of us has. Somebody requested this video. How do we feel about these kinds of characters in our games? And I hesitate to ask, how have you, as a GM or as a player, dealt with characters like this in your worlds? Throw it in the comments. Let me know all about it. But that's all we have for today. It's a third-party god from Purple Duck Games. Next week, we'll be talking about the martyr Tulis. See you then.